friends, Rachel with Bubbly Balloon Co. here. Today I thought we'd do something a little bit different. We've had a little bit of spotty weather. It's kind of messed up some of my filming plans. So I wanted to sit down and just do a Q&A on how I got started in the balloon business, answer some questions for you guys that hopefully help some new and aspiring artists out there and other DIYers who want to know more about balloons and just kind of interested in getting into it. If you're new here, my name is Rachel with Bubbly Balloon Co. and I help DIYers and other balloon artists like me embrace creativity and inspiration by dropping new tutorials and creations every single week. In this video, I'm going to be doing a little Q&A with y'all. I'm going to answer some questions on how I got started, share some tips and tricks with you guys, and just kind of share my story if it helps anyone. So if it's cool with you, I'm going to crack open an energy drink, just have my morning caffeine together, and just kind of chit chat. Okay, now I can be a person. How I get into balloons is super random. I was definitely not in this field before. I had a friend show me something on Pinterest like 5 or 6 years ago that just blew me away. I had never seen anything like it. It was, one of the viral looks that I'm sure you've all seen by now. But I had no idea balloons could be so glam and luxurious and over the top. Like, they were just incredible. So I was really blown away that that was even a thing. And it just really stuck with me. I was fascinated by it. And that really just kind of stuck with me, that inspiration. And I think it was a couple years after that at a company I was at, we were doing a Christmas party for the staff. It was a really small company. And I wanted to make a balloon Christmas tree. And you guys, my first creation was terrible. I tried to give up on it like 5 times, and God bless my husband, he helped me get through. He did so much of it. I couldn't figure out how it was supposed to work. I had trouble getting any of it to go right. And to top it all off, all the good green balloons were of course sold out. It was right before Christmas. So we used this like bright kiwi green. So I look back at those pictures and I just cringe. That was my first creation and my first really attempt and my first foray into this world. So if we count that first attempt, my like balloon tree that really sucked, as doing balloons, I guess I've been doing it for 3 or 4 years now. But professionally, I think it's been around 2 years or under 2 years. And it started out, of course, as a side hustle. I think I had 4 side hustles when I first started doing balloons. It was one of many things I was doing in addition to my 9 to 5. As far as how I got started doing this as a business, that story I'm like a little bit hesitant to share because I don't know how repeatable it is, but I'll just tell you the honest to God truth of what happened with me. I had made those couple of very simple basic garlands at work, if you can even call them garlands. One for a birthday, a couple weeks later I had done one where we were decorating the office for Halloween. I got to make one then, and I ended up putting it on my Snapchat, kind of saying how much I love my job. I get to make balloons at work, like this is crazy, I'm having so much fun. And later, like a couple weeks later, one of my friends was about to have a baby shower, and I think it was a gender reveal party actually, and she was asking around, who does balloons, and she asked someone, her sister, who had seen my Snapchat, and she said, oh, Rachel does balloons, like let's ask her. So they reached out to me, and I was like, y'all, honestly, I don't really know what I'm doing. I've made 2, they kind of sucked, but I would love to do it. This is something that's super fun to me, so let me see what I can do. And I came up with this crazy over-the-top design. It was about a 20 or 30, I think it was close to a 30-foot arch. My very first freaking project, like professionally. I can't believe I pulled it off. And honestly, on that job, I really just charged them the cost of materials, which was really expensive because I didn't know what I was doing. I went and got supplies from Party City and paid like full ass retail for it. So it was still really expensive, and it took me about 12 hours to make that arch, and I didn't get to do everything I had planned for it. So I had lots of leftovers, and anyway, it was just kind of like a bit messy, but it turned out so good. They were super happy with it. And so I didn't make anything on that, but that was like my first like job in the business. And from there, that launched a lot of other opportunities. As far as how I got my first paid job, like that giant 30-foot gender reveal arch I did was my first like freebie. That was me kind of like learning the ropes and kind of testing the waters. Okay, is this something that I can actually do? Is this something people are going to be into? And fortunately for me, that kicked off a lot of other opportunities. So from there, I got a lot of other people reaching out about parties. A lot of them I did for free in the beginning. I would charge them materials, or if they ordered a kit on Amazon, I would either charge almost nothing or nothing. And I was just learning. I needed the experience. I wanted to build my portfolio. I kind of had that like business mentality about it of I need the experience, I need pictures. At least I'm not having to buy materials myself. So that was really what I did in the beginning, and eventually I did enough of them. I think it was only a handful that I didn't really charge for, but after a few of those I started getting paid jobs. It was really all word of mouth, people seeing the pictures on Facebook, people going to the parties and seeing them in person and then reaching out when they needed one. So I was very, very fortunate in that word of mouth really spread like crazy in my local community. And I was fortunate enough to, these girls, a lot of them are in the age bracket of getting in relationships, getting engaged, getting married, having babies, doing birthday parties, bridal showers, all sorts of stuff. So it was very lucky for me, which I'm really thankful for. Building a client base. So I think I pretty much already told you my story of how I did it, but it really was for me starting out in the very beginning when I didn't have a portfolio, didn't have much of a skill set or anything like that. I really did it just out of love, and I did jobs for free or for $25-$50, whatever the heck I could get for it, and I would just do a great job at them, share my pictures. The people obviously would use it as a photo station, and they would take pictures at it, they would share it, and it really just kind of spread from there. And it was on after that, like that got posted, there were some great pictures taken, and that got posted on Facebook. And when you have friends that are in that kind of young bracket where everyone's in relationships, getting married, having kids, stuff like that, there's just so many things happening, parties, showers, all sorts of events where people want balloons. So I was just super lucky in that regard that when these pictures went onto Facebook, a lot of people kind of went crazy for it. And anytime there was a party, I think I got booked like pretty much every weekend for like months on end. Sometimes I had 2, 3, 4 parties in a weekend. Not every single weekend, obviously, but most weekends I was booked for months on end, and it was fabulous. So it was really, really grassroots and word of mouth. And then from there I went on to build, an Instagram and a website. And I'm not really cool, I'm not Instagram cool. Like there's way more I could be doing with it, but I have gotten a lot of leads off of it, a lot of possible jobs off of it. And same goes for my website. It's pretty basic, but people look on Google, there's not that many balloon artists in any given area, to be honest. So when people look and, I come up, I get a lot of, leads and possible clients out of it. How many balloons I have? Good question. Thousands. I don't have an exact number for you, but I think each drawer in here probably has, I'm gonna guess, at least 30 bags of between 50 and 100 balloons. So let's call it 75 times 30. Hey Google, what's 30 times 75?
30 times 75 is 2,250.
Oh gosh. So about 2,000 balloons per drawer, 4 drawers. Let's just say thousands. I have thousands of balloons. Plus the bulk stock in like my different cabinets and drawers and stuff. Many thousands of balloons. I'd say around 10,000. Client selection is a very interesting topic because when you're new in the business and you're like just getting started, there's a part of me that is like, take anything you can get. You want to build your portfolio, you want to get your name out there, you want to build a client base, you want to become someone people rely on for balloons. But at the same time, there are some clients that just probably aren't worth it for you. I can share with you a couple of criteria that I use when I'm selecting clients. I'm super picky about it these days. I only want to take on jobs that I really, really love. So my opinion might not be what's right for you in your business, but I'm happy to share like what I do. So one is I only take jobs that I'm really excited about, really passionate about. It's going to be fun for me. Like I do this out of love and out of fun. And if I'm not going to enjoy the job, if I'm not going to have a good time doing it, there's no point. I don't make enough off of balloon jobs for me to go through the stress and pressure and sweat and literal tears that come out of this if it's not a job I'm going to be really excited about and that I can't wait to show off to my friends and put on Instagram. 2 is personally, this might be controversial, I don't do recreations. If a client sends me an exact look and says, I want this, I want these colors, match this, that's not for me. And this is what I think is like a little bit controversial, is I view this as art. When I get tattoos, I pick an artist that I love their work. I tell them what I'm looking for and I let them design it and advise me on what's best and do their thing. Now that sounds really scary, like this is permanent stuff, but I have, 20 tattoos. I've done that for like 17 of them. And the ones that I didn't do it on are my least favorite tattoos, if I can be honest with you. So I love letting artists do their thing and bring what they think is beautiful to life. And that's why I pick artists that I love. So that's how I want clients to be about me. I want them to use me because they like my work, they trust what I've done. Of course I want to know what they're looking for, I want their input, but I want them to send me, what their theme is, what their color scheme is, send me swatches, send me pictures of your decor that you're doing, the theme that you're doing, send me pics for inspiration, absolutely. But if they say, this is what I want, match these exact balloon colors from this picture, which is probably filtered and oxidized, and you know what I mean? It's so, I don't do those exact things. Like, I only do organic balloon. Like, I know what I'm good at. It's organic balloons, and it's doing them out of love. So it's just gotta be my own vision. It's gotta be my own creation. And if I'm not seeing it, if I'm not feeling it, you know what I mean? If I don't feel like they really, trust me and want my interpretation of it, I don't take the job. I said it. There you go. I mean, you don't have to agree with me. I'm just sharing with you what I do. And personally, that buys my own peace of mind and my own happiness. And I have been so lucky to work with like some of the nicest clients that are so sweet and so appreciative and so happy with what I've made for them. Even times where I, like I said, I want to criticize it, I want to critique it and tear it down. They've been so happy with it, which is really wonderful to me. And like I said, I'm never like fully happy with anything I create. Like, I could criticize anything I make forever, but having my own spin on it, having my own belief in what I'm making and getting to bring it to life, that's what it's about. And I really have had some of the loveliest clients, most understanding. There's been a lot of things that have gone wrong for me during my builds and after my builds and stuff like that. So I've been blessed to have really lovely people that have hired me over the years. I've learned a lot from each job I've done. I don't think to this day, I don't think there's a job I've done that I haven't learned something from. And I am always striving to get better on every single job. So I only take clients that I feel and projects that I feel like align with what I'm doing here. Getting started from scratch, how exciting. I mean, yes, I have advice for that. Like, first of all, that's how all of us started. Like, every one of us has started from the bottom up. Maybe some people had event planning businesses and they tied this in, but for just about everyone you see out there, like, we've all started from nothing. So absolutely, the first thing I would say is practice your craft. That's kind of a 2-in-1, because as you practice, you can build your portfolio. So not only practice techniques, but practice creating, entire creations. They don't have to be huge or large or expensive. You can buy cheap balloons, you can buy dollar store balloons, but just to practice with and learn the motions and get used to what it takes to actually bring some of this stuff to life, practicing is key. As you know, this is a visual field. You're gonna need pictures of your work, so building that portfolio is key. And as you're practicing, you can build that out, really get those pictures and be able to show people what you're capable of. Now, both practicing and building your portfolio don't have to be just you and at your own expense. Kind of like what I did, when other people around me were gonna be having parties, offer to do balloons, or, if they know you do them and they approach you, but you can offer as well. Like, hey, they sell kits on Amazon for 15 or 25 bucks. If you want balloons, like, pick something out, I'll make it for you. Or you can probably think of something classier to say than that. But I'm just saying, like, people around you, like, what is being celebrated? What can be celebrated? And how can you add to it? For me, it was like my 4th side hustle, I think, in addition to my 9-to-5. It wasn't the best paying one. I literally did it out of love and because I could see it growing in the future. So one of the biggest things I can say is it's important to me for this to be done out of love. If you're doing it for money or notoriety or I don't know how that's gonna turn out. Like, for me, this had to be done out of a place of passion and enjoyment and love and just honestly pure joy. I love the process itself. I love bringing these things to life. I love seeing other people so happy and excited about it at the end. Like, that's what makes me happy. And now being able to share it with others on YouTube, like, I do this because it's fun, and I've had a lot of people that recognize that and they bring me on because they can tell I love it and I put love into what I do. And it sounds so cheesy, but it's not, it's not something you're doing just for $1. It's gonna be hard. You're gonna have ups and downs. Anything worthwhile is gonna kick your ass sometimes. But if you really enjoy this, you really love bringing that beauty to the world, then I think it's gonna be worth it. So get that word out there in the beginning. My phone randomly died there. I hope we're still going strong. But just to wrap up, like my advice if you're getting started from scratch would be to practice any way you can. Buy dollar store balloons, offer to do them for friends and family, work, like any capacity that you can take advantage of an opportunity, do it. And then photograph it, get the word out, you know, just you can share it to your stories. You know, it's okay to be proud of something cool that you did, right? So, you know, you can share it with your friends and family, and people hopefully will start reaching out to you for it. And of course, there's a lot that can be done in the way of Instagram and like other online marketing techniques that I don't really do a lot in the way of, but I know other people do, and they get like crazy results with them. There's just a lot of ways that you can grow and expand as a balloon artist in 2021 and beyond. So with that, let me know if there's any other questions you'd like me to answer or address. I mean, I know we didn't go over pricing. There's more we could definitely talk about. We'll probably have to do a second round of this. So let me know if there's any questions I missed, anything else you'd like to kind of know or get my take on. I'm not the end all be all in this, but I can definitely share my experiences with y'all and tell you what's worked and what hasn't and go from there. Otherwise, hopefully this weather like clears up over the next couple days here and I can get back to making some gorgeous creations for you. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I feel like this was like my version of a get ready with me. Like me just hanging out with my caffeine, taking it easy, answering some questions. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see y'all soon.